Okay, we have a problem, right? Limit x tending to 0 of sine 8x over sine x. So as usual, the first step would be applying limits. So APL stands for applying limits. So when we apply limits, wherever we see x, we substitute 0. So this would give us sine of 8 times 0 divided by sine of 0. Now we all know that 8 times 0 is going to be 0, so we have sine 0 divided by sine 0, and we know that sine of 0 is going to be 0 over 0 form. Okay, now coming to the next step, I'm going to use an important concept in limits, an important formula. Now what is the formula? Limit x tending to 0 of sine x divided by x is equal to 1. Now this is a very important formula that we are going to use. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to redesign the problem in the following manner. How I'm going to do? I have cleanly noted that the coefficient of x in the numerator is basically is 8. So what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply and divide by 8. So it's going to be 8 divided by 8, right? And then I am going to just reform them in the following style. So this 8, I'm going to write it before the limit. So I'm going to have 8 times limit x tending to 0 of sine 8x divided by 8 times 1 over sine x. Okay, so this is going to be my step 1. Okay, my step 1 is this. Okay, now my step 2, if you observe, I have sine 8x divided by 8, but I do not have an x, right? So again, my step 2 would be to get that x. So to get that x, what I'm going to do, I am going to multiply and divide by x. So I have sine 8x divided by 8 times 1 over sine x. I'm going to multiply by x and divide by x. Now this could be redesigned as 8 times limit x tending to 0 of sine 8x divided by 8 and x. I'm going to club this 8 with this x. So I have 8x. Then I open the parenthesis. I'm going to club this x with this 1 over sine x. So that would be x times sine x. So it's all about forms. Okay, so now what do I have? Now I have my step 3 would be, so my step 3 would be to again rewrite this quantity in this fashion. So this is going to be limit 8 times limit x tending to 0 of sine 8x divided by 8x. Okay, and then I am going to write x over sine x as sine x over x. Okay, I'm going to write x over sine x as sine x over x. Why? Now this is something like this. Okay, let me do it here. This is something like this. I'm doing it here. Suppose you have a quantity like this, A over B times C over D, right? Now this can exactly be written as A over B, the whole divided by D over C. Okay, because when you flip this guy, okay, D over C becomes C over D. So x over sine x can be written in the denominator as sin x over x, so that when sin x over x is flipped, I get x over sine x. That's all about it. Now there is a formula in the limits. Okay, I'm going to write the formula in the limits. There is a formula in the limits which states that limit some function x, some x tending to 0 of f of x divided by g of x can be written as limit x tending to 0 of f of x divided by limit x tending to 0 of g of x. Okay, that is, limit of a quotient equals quotient of the limits. So this can be written as a times limit x tending to 0 of sine 8x over 8x divided by limit x tending to 0 of sine x divided by x. Now this is 1, this is 1, so we have a quantity something like this, 8 of 1 divided by 1. 1 can be cancelled, giving you a solution as 8. So this is a beautiful problem.